Okay, welcome to everyone. I am so glad to see you. This is exciting. This is fun. I do want to share something that I found today. It's a Somali proverb, and for me it was fitting. So see what you think. Be a mountain or lean on one. I like it. I like it a lot. I found this meaningful, although it barely begins to express the gratitude that I hold for all of you, for our supporters in many, many ways for the Center for Children and Families. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Advisory Council members, our dedicated, wonderful members who could be here today, and other supporters, and those who aren't here. I thank them as well. I also want to say thank you for coming to our faculty members, Center for Children and Families, faculty affiliates, and to our student workers, our student volunteers, and to our REU students. Now, probably by now, you all know the phrase REU, but we often mistakenly just say that because, of course, we know what it means, and it's sort of cumbersome. And even if I say what it stands for, the National Science Foundation funded research experience for undergraduate site that the Center for Children and Families now is, it's not all that clear either. But I hope that you've had a chance to meet with and visit with many of our wonderful REU students, our REU fellows, who we selected very carefully out of 170 undergraduate applicants from the community colleges of this area and from UT Dallas. And so who you've met are the students who are our first cohort of REU fellows. And these fellows have come to CCF, have come to UT Dallas to participate in this wonderful experience. That includes working in our outreach programs and working towards the mission of the Center for Children and Families, which is to build upon, enlarge, create research that gives us greater knowledge, better knowledge about the development of children and families. And to apply that knowledge and share that knowledge with families and children who may need or want or desire more input into their parenting and the development of their children, and to grow that research base and to share it with practitioners, to share it with everyone we can in the research literature and throughout our community. So welcome, and I would like next for the Dean of the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences, where the Center for Children and Families sits, and which is our greatest supporter of the center, to say a few words of welcome. And that will be followed by Dr. Mandy McGuire, who will tell you a little bit more about the REU experience. So, Dean Small.
Thanks, Margaret. It's really wonderful to see everyone here. Thank everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the Advisory Council, faculty, students, staff. Thanks so much for coming. The School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences, Margaret asked me to keep it real short, but I always have to talk about the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences. We are one of the only schools in the world that focuses on the study of brain and behavior. And our Department of Psychology is one of the key departments of 3 departments there. And the Department of Psychology is really the home of the Center for Children and Families. We have about 100 faculty. We have 3 departments: psychology, neuroscience, and speech, language, and hearing sciences. And I was looking at the website the other day. The University of Texas at Dallas has 9 different centers. And in looking at the website, there were fully 6 of those centers that were run by the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences. And it's really exciting. So the school, the faculty in the school, and the students in the school are populating all of our centers. There is no center that is more important to me than the Center for Children and Families. And the reason is because of the important community outreach, just the effect that we have on our community in a very direct and tangible way. Our other centers are trying to cure disease, trying to discover new discoveries, but the effect that we can see and feel on our community, particularly the children and families of Dallas, and particularly children and families of Dallas who really can benefit the most from what we have to offer, is really impressive. So I will keep it short. Thank you, Margaret, for your incredible work over many years in making this what it is. Thanks, Mandy, for working with Margaret on this REU. And on behalf of the University of Texas Dallas and the School of Behavioral Brain Sciences, thank you all for coming, and thank you for your support for the center. So I think, Mandy, you're up.
Okay, thank you, and thank you again. I'm going to thank everybody for coming again. Thank you. It's great to see all the students are dressed up too, which is really nice. So I am going to introduce two students who are going to tell you a little bit about their experiences, Aurora and Enrico. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about the REU and what it's meant to me, and I think to UTD and the faculty here. So an REU, like we said, is a research experience for undergrads. They're funded by the National Science Foundation. The general goal of an REU is to get students who typically don't have exposure to science, either because of the universities they go to or just typically underrepresented groups in science, exposure to science. And the way that typically works is a school like Harvard or Duke will have computer scientists who say, okay, all these students can come here and we'll train them to be great computer scientists. And that's fabulous. And that's part of what we wanted to do, is bring students and train them to be great developmental scientists. But what is really unique about the faculty here, and what we want to do, is that we really see the benefit of the students. That the students themselves bring knowledge to the science in a way that is going to change the science. Developmental science especially has had a problem in the past of saying this is the way to parent, and this is the way that children should develop, and the way they should act, and the way they should be ready for school. And all of that research is based from a group of very similar, typically white, middle-class, high-educated, monolingual English speakers who make that decision and study kids from those families. And we've realized in this science that's a problem. We need to change it. But we haven't been great at getting at the real way that we can fix this. The way we need to fix it is to get scientists from different backgrounds to tell us about development, tell us more about what are we missing and what we need to be testing, how are we misinterpreting things that we might be seeing through a particular lens. And so the amazing faculty that we've worked with, and this is the help of 12 different faculty who have been incredibly involved in this program in a way that is so helpful to me and to the students, is that we really say these students need to have a voice. We want them to help us as scientists. We want them to help the field of science, and we want them to eventually become the next generation of developmental scientists who can help fix some of these problems that we've had in the past. And I am so impressed by the students we've had. We are only about halfway through the program, and the conversations and the things I've learned from them so far have been absolutely amazing. I can't wait for the rest of the year as we start to move more into research and what we're doing on the research side, what they're going to add to the projects that we're doing. And they're under the absolutely wonderful mentorship of Dr. Shayla Holub and Dr. Jackie Nelson, who have taken on mentoring roles along with Dr. Raul Rojas. And I think we're going to have fabulous research coming out of this that is going to help all of us as researchers. It's going to help the science that we do at UTD and at the Center for Brain Health. It's going to help the family and children of Dallas who we serve and try to work with. And I think eventually it's going to help change the science. And I am so excited to see what these students do and where they go in the future and what our future students do. And with that, I am going to, first we're going to hear from Aurora and then Enrico. They will tell you a little bit about their experiences, and that's it. Come on up.
Thank you, Dr. McGuire, for the introduction, and thank you to Adriana Bard and to the RU faculty for taking the leap to open doors for us and for the families we serve. As a child, I struggled with language. I was a quiet kid, so much so that I would go hours without making a single sound. My parents had no idea why, but they were working around the clock in order to support me and my siblings, and there was very little that they felt that they could do. Everything changed when I was enrolled into an experimental charter school founded by UT Austin. At that school was an after-school program where parents and their children were invited to attend weekly sign language classes. My teacher had referred my parents to this program, and because my mother was between jobs at the time, she could attend these sessions with me. Over the course of a semester, we learned sign language together. Not enough to speak fluently, but enough to get by and enough to have a plethora of vocabulary to use in our day-to-day life. Very quickly, our conversations began to transcend the classroom, and we would find ourselves exchanging signs at the grocery store, the library, in the kitchen, and even at the park. When words failed, these signs became a way that I could communicate with my mother and that she could reciprocate to me. Through these sessions, a bridge had been created between us. With the tools I had been given, I had finally an opportunity to be heard, and that gave me the confidence to overcome my silence and begin talking. So much so that later on, my teachers would beg me to stop. In the Play With Me program, we have a similar goal. Many of the children who come to our program struggle with language. Our role, however, is not to provide therapy or evaluations, but to model positive parenting practices based in developmental science and provide parents with the tools to build bridges with their child. These bridges create the foundation for children to grow, to develop, and to gain the confidence to explore the world around them. Even this semester, we have seen profound growth in the children that we work with. It is inspiring to be able to see these families grow and become more confident in their role and in their environment. I applied to the RU program because I wanted to create bridges and connect science to the community. For many of us, the RU hits close to home. I see myself and my experiences in the children and in these families that we serve. And that connection not only allows us to understand the challenges that the families that Play With Me face, but it also allows us to see the world as they do, from both the role of the child and from the parent. In the spring, not only will we begin research that will contribute to our understanding of child development, but we will be able to deliver that crucial information to the community and to the families who need it the most. So here's to building bridges.
Hey you guys. All right. Oh, hi. My name is Enrico. Lorenzo de Castro Young, whatever you're gonna call it. Hi. So, my time working as an undergraduate research fellow for the Center for Children and Families has and continues to be a very valuable and inspiring experience for me. I am constantly learning from amazing professors who bring their extensive knowledge in varied fields, and from my fellow RU students who bring valuable insights with their personal experiences. Entering research as an undergraduate student can be a very challenging process and is definitely not an easy feat, especially when you want to do more than just simply work with 20 other students performing the same task constantly. So as a neuroscience student in the pre-medical track, I had toured other labs on campus and always felt as if there was something missing, something that just wasn't quite clicking with me. What was missing was the human aspect of research and the inspiration from seeing other students who are like me and were braving into fields where we are still the minority. As a future medical student, I wanted to not only have a competitive resume that showed research experience, but I also wanted something that spoke to the human side of science. When I first saw the application to the RU program, I knew that I had found the perfect fit for me. The program would prepare me with the skills needed to become a great scientist, give me the opportunities to serve at-risk children and their parents, and would give me a competitive edge in the future professional school application. In my time in the RU, I have helped parents and I have worked directly with parents and children, learning to be culturally sensitive and to use analytical observational skills. I have read the current scientific literature and have had in-depth conversations with amazing researchers and professors who show passion, dedication, and candor in what they do. I feel encouraged and inspired by Adriana Bard, who leads the program, by Dr. Owen and Dr. Maguire, who direct the REU program. I am grateful that I am able to do all this work and be financially supported as well. The fact that I receive stipends from the program means that not only I can put my financial concerns aside, but it also reassures me that I am encouraged and valued for the work that I do. I can wholeheartedly say that I am inspired by the work that I am doing. I am inspired to pursue science, to think holistically, and to continue caring for others. Ultimately, what inspires me the most is seeing the other REU fellows. Our diverse backgrounds allow us to bring personability and passion to answer questions that need answering, to answers that will better aid our communities. We are students, we are hard workers, we are passionate and willing to help. Most of us, among us, there are mothers, healthcare workers, and even teachers. And as our time here progresses, I can say with confidence that all of us are scientists that will undoubtedly make positive strides in our respective fields and in the lives of many. Thank you.
That's the big program. And thank you guys so much, Aurora, Enrico, and all the rest of our students who are here, and for all the rest of you. A lot of fun. There's still food, there's still wine, and now that I've said hello, I will have a glass of wine. So please